Good evening, everyone. I welcome you all on the behalf of StudyIQ IAS English. My name is Pritesh Maturkar. I welcome you all to this exemplary journey entitled Geography Through Maps. So today we are on our 15th lecture discourse. So this being a continuing series, so we'll be continuing where we left off yesterday. I extend my warmest regards to everyone, those who are watching me for the first time today and those who are watching me from last 15-14 lectures. So I formally welcome you all, wherein I, as your able mentor, guide, philosopher and friend, is taking you all on a world tour, and that too free of cost. Okay, I'm not charging anything from you all. It's free of cost world tour. In this world tour, we will be primarily analyzing the Earth's physiography. We will be primarily dealing with the geophysical aspects of Earth by using the most potent tool, that is Atlas. Hence the name of the session, Geography Through Maps. So using maps, I tend to cover two things. The first thing I tend to cover is roughly 15 to 20 marks in your prelims and roughly 100 to 200 marks in your mains. And if essay or some other aspect of optional comes in purview, we will extend that to beyond 200, 300 marks too. And the second thing which I want to achieve with each and every one of you is good analytical skills of current affairs too. So I will also be discussing current affairs as and when required, and slowly and steadily you and me will both improve in this sessions. So please treat me as your dearest friend, where if you have any difficulty, you are free to comment, you are free to ask, and slowly and steady you and me will both move together. So the typical workflow in the sessions is like this. In the first 5 to 10 minutes, I tend to revise whatever we did yesterday, and then after that I introduce you to new concepts. And once I introduce you to new concepts, after that we see the applicability of the concepts on the world atlas, and that is how we finish off the things. But in the first few lectures, dare I say in first 20 to 25 lectures, we will be primarily focusing on understanding some of the tidbits of geography. Why? Because using this discourse, I tend to cover roughly 50 to 60% of your geography GS syllabus. I tend to cover roughly 60% of your basic GS discourse, and using this discourse, I intend that each and every one of you can learn, can understand, can have a conceptual clarity of the advanced level concepts too. Okay, so please treat this discipline as a foundation for your GS discourse. And if any one of you is having the geography optional, so this discourse will very come in handy, which very much will come in handy for you all understanding the three spheres, the lithosphere, the atmosphere and the hydrosphere. So as promised, I begin my session with showcasing you one of the locations which I discussed in the previous class. So the location which you are seeing on the board behind me, this being an interactive flat panel. So this beautiful location is of Urals of Russia. Urals are almost untouched mountains because of their geographical location, because of their unique territory. It's very difficult to reach over there because just below Urals you have Pripyat marshes. So it's all marshy land, you cannot reach. And even if you see in this picture, you can see some of the littoral kind of ecology, some of the marshy land and the swamps lands of the Urals. Okay, Urals, if you see in this picture, I introduced you to Urals yesterday. They are the part of the Hercynian mountain building phase. So if you see the picture over here, if you see this topography, see how much eroded it is, how much denuded it is. Why it is so much eroded? Why it is so much denuded? Because they are very old, guys. Okay, the more the age, the more you will have denudation, the more you will have erosion. The more the age, the more you will have white hair on your head. So that is how you will have such kind of topography in the Urals. Yes, good evening, Kalash. So please remember that you remember the Urals from this perspective, that they are very old, they are very eroded, and the topography of this part of the world is basically littered with littoral swamps and marshy lands. So it's very difficult to cross this territory, and basically this has resulted into Hitler losing World War II. Okay, so we will come to it when we will do the discussions of Europe and Eurasia. We will come back. Okay, so let's begin our today's session by doing a quick recap of whatever we did yesterday. So yesterday I did introduce you to I did introduce you all to the origin of Earth's crust, the discussions of the first primitive crust of the Earth, wherein we discussed that when the Earth was formed, the Earth's crust was not what we see today. The Earth's crust was not very thick as we have today. The Earth's primitive crust was very thin. So if I'm considering the primitive crust of Earth, if I'm considering the primitive crust of Earth, so the primitive crust of Earth was very thin, was very thin, was very fragile, was very fragile. Why this was thin? Why this was fragile? Because Earth was just a condensing hot dense nebula. The accretion process was on. Slowly, you had volcanism, you had degassing, you had the magma, the pouring out of lava. So the initial crust was very thin, was very fragile. The earliest of volcanic eruptions on Earth, the formation of the first rocky terrain of Earth. And mind you, Earth is one of the 4 terrestrial planets of solar system. Okay, you have Mercury, you have Venus, you have Earth, and you have Mars. These are the only 4 terrestrial planets of solar system. Terrestrial in the sense of what? That you have a land surface to stand on. So today I'm standing in this discourse on a land surface. This land surface is owed basically to volcanism on Earth. Okay, so it was very thin, it was very fragile. You can equate this with the layer of cream which comes atop when you have a boiling pot of milk which is cooling. So the very thin layer of cream which comes atop, it is the first primitive crust of the Earth. Okay, and this primitive crust of the Earth will form the first big supercontinent called as Rodinia. When this primitive crust was forming, you had the upliftment of some of the world's oldest fold mountains. Fold mountains basically means when two plates, two continental plates or two continental land masses, they interact, and in this you have upliftment of mountains. So very crude definition of fold mountains, but when two plates will collide, their interaction will result into upliftment of fold mountains. So you had the formation of the first of the fold mountains of the world. I'm introducing this name for the first time. Fold. Okay, fold means something is squishing, something is folding, and it is uplifting because of compressive forces. So fold mountains. Okay, you had the world's first fold mountains, the world's first true orogens. So you had the Eastern Ghats of India. Eastern Ghats are some of the world's oldest fold mountains. They date back to more than 3.1, 3.2 billion years ago. Then you have the upliftment of Satpuras and Vindhyas in India. Each one of them is more than 2.8, 2.7 billion years old. After that, you have the formation of a supercontinent called as Rodinia. And as this Rodinia breaks apart, the individual pieces, they again start colliding. And when they start colliding, you have the different mountain building phases. So you have two distinct mountain building phases before formation of another supercontinent. So the first mountain building phase that we discussed yesterday was the Caledonian mountain building phase, was the Caledonian mountain building phase. Just wait a bit. Silent. Okay. Okay. So the first mountain building phase that you have, it is called as the Caledonian mountain building phase. Mountain building phase. In this phase, you have upliftment of the Kejolen Mountains of Scandinavia. You have upliftment of the Scottish Highlands. So when you have watched the Harry Potter movie, so the Hogwarts Castle, the mountain range in which the Hogwarts Castle is there, that are basically the Scottish Highlands. Okay. So after that, you have the Hercynian mountain building phase. You have the Hercynian mountain building phase. In Hercynian mountain building phase, you have upliftment of the Urals of Russia. You have upliftment of the Appalachians of North America. You have upliftment of the GDRs of Australia, Great Dividing Range of Australia, and you have the upliftment of what? you have the upliftment of Pennines of Britain, and in consonance with the Appalachians of North America, you do have upliftment of Atlas Mountains too. So if I'm showcasing you all this on a world map, the locations with which we did yesterday, guys, this is only the precursor. Don't get confused. I'm not going to cover maps like this. Maps, we will go continent by continent wise in detailed analysis. This is just a precursor so that you all get acclimatized. Acclimatization is very necessary in life, because whichever environment you are put in, you first need to understand the environment, then only you can start functioning. So you can treat this sessions as conditioning for you all. Like we turn on the air conditioners now, so you are conditioning the air in the same manner I'm conditioning you all. Okay, so don't worry, we are on a right track. Just trust me blindly. Okay, I'm the first person who must be saying you trust me blindly, but yes, you will have to do that if you want to learn the discipline entitled geography. Okay, don't worry. So if I'm going region by region wise, so if I'm first of all showcasing you the Kejolan Mountains, so the Kejolan Mountains are over here. So this is the Scandinavian Peninsula. So these are our Kejolan Mountains. Okay, so these are our Kejolan Mountains. Here you have the Appalachians. Here you have the Appalachians of North America. Okay, if you understand the locations on physical map, you can very easily understand the locations on the political map too. Okay, then you have the Urals of Russia. So these are the Urals of Russia. In the middle of Britain, you have the Pennines of Britain. You have the Pennines of Britain. Okay, in the extreme far right of Australia, over here you have the GDR, the Great Dividing Range of Australia. So this is the Great Dividing Range of Australia. This is the Great Dividing Range of Australia to the extreme right. And in consonance with the Appalachians, when the Appalachians uplifted, you also have upliftment of Atlas Mountains of Africa. So this is the location of the Atlas Mountains of Africa. So here you have the Atlas Mountains of Africa. Okay. So these are some of the Hercynian mountains which we discussed in the previous classes. Now let us take our discussions further. Let us now understand the next mountain building phase. But before that, I will like to introduce you all to a topic or to a geographical entity called as Pangaea. So what happened that after the Hercynian mountain building phases, the individual continental pieces, they again started colliding with each other. The individual continental plates or the individual continental okay, landmass or plates they started again colliding with one another after the breakup of Rodinia. And as they collided, you had the distinct mountain building phases of the Caledonian and the Hercynian, and as they collided, they formed another big supercontinent called as Pangaea. Why Pangaea is so damn important in our discussion? Why? Because as the Pangaea will break during the mid Cretaceous times, during the Jurassic times, as Pangaea starts to break up, you will have what? You will have the orientation of present day continents. So the world which you see in this part, okay, the world which you are seeing over here, the continental landmass which you are seeing in this atlas, this is basically the result of what? This is basically the result of Pangaea. So you need to understand this, that this is basically the result of the breakup of Pangaea. So please make sure that you are getting this concept very, very properly, that the present day arrangement of the continents that we have is basically the result of the breakup of Pangaea. So now I will be using a very potent tool that I will be showcasing you the breakup of Pangaea on let's using this channel called as YouTube. So on YouTube we will see the how Pangea breaks apart and how do you have the present day orientation of the continent. So Pangea will break into two. In the north you will have Laurentia, and in the south you will have Gondwana land. So the continent of India, okay, continent, not, I'm not saying continent, sorry, the landmass of India, the Indian subcontinent, was basically in the south. It broke up from the southern hemisphere and it drifted and came in the north. So now let us have a very interactive journey as to how Pangea breaks apart and how do you have the present day orientation of landmass, and how this has resulted into the third mountain building phase called as the tertiary alpine mountain building phase. Guys, geography is very interesting. It becomes interesting only when you connect with this discipline. Okay, you need to understand the gravity of the words that are coming out of my mouth. Okay, if you are seeing a mountain, okay, so an immense amount of work has been done to uplift the mountain. It's not easy that you have so much of diversity of features on any planet. If you go to Jupiter, Jupiter is a gas giant. If you go to Mars, dead planet. If you go to Neptune, Uranus, do you have a land surface to stand on? No. So all of the beauty of Earth is unique to Earth. So if you have to like this discipline, you need to appreciate the beauty of our planet. So always think like this, that what are we studying in this curriculum, what are we going to study in geography? We are going to do nothing but appreciate the beauty of our planet. Okay, so you can treat mountains as the Earth's makeup. You can treat the different topographies as the different makeups which you put on, the different filters you put on. So somewhere you will have filters of mountains, somewhere you will have filters of plateaus, somewhere down the line you will have filters of deserts. So Earth is manifesting differently in different places. So Earth is donning different makeup, Earth is donning different filters. So you can understand geography from this angle. The topographical variations are nothing but different makeups, different filters which the Earth is donning for you all. And believe me, I have roamed for more than 46 countries. So when you go to a different location, when you see the different diversity in physiography, the diversity in topography, it literally takes your breath away. So please appreciate this discipline from this point of view, that we are basically doing what? We are basically understanding the beauty of our planet. Okay, so let's now understand the breakup of Pangea, how Pangea breaks apart and how it drifts, and how do we have the present day orientation of continents. Okay. Okay, so let us understand how Pangea breaks apart. So if you see the landmass which I'm showcasing on the board today, so this is basically Pangea. Okay, this is the big supercontinent called as Pangea. So the entire continent which you are seeing on the board over here, this entire landmass, this is called as Pangea. So one big supercontinent called as Pangea. Okay, so this is happening when? So this is happening when you have the Hercynian mountain building phase over, the Caledonian mountain building phase over. So all of the mountain building phases are over. The world has basically constricted into one giant landmass called as Pangea. Now this continental landmass will start breaking and drifting apart. So you will have breaking in the north and you will have breaking in the south. So in the north and south you will have breaking. Whatever landmass will break in the north, that will be called as Laurentia. So anything happening in the north, it will be called as Laurentia, and anything breaking in the south, it will be called as Gondwana land. It will be called as Gondwana land. Okay, so now let's move ahead. Let's discuss the drifting of the continental. Okay, so I'm playing the video for you all. So let's understand how this breaks. Okay. So as you start drifting, as you start the breaking up of Pangea, so slowly the Pangea starts to break. Okay. So approximately 190 million years ago, the Pangea is finally starting to drift. The Pangea is finally starting to break. So 195 million years ago, Pangea is starting to break up. Let's move ahead. So the Pangea is starting to slowly break. Okay. Now, if you see over here, if I'm pausing this video, okay. So roughly 155 million years ago, if you are seeing this video, roughly 155 million years ago, you can see the continental plates taking shape. This is our North America. Okay, this is our present day North America. This is our present day Greenland. This, if you see this coastline, so this coastline is our present day South America. This is our present day Africa. So if anyone asks you, were South America and Africa joined? Yes, your answer should be yes. South America and Africa were once joined together. So if I take you to east coast of South America and if you compare it with the west coast of Africa, so the east coast and west coast of Africa were joined together. So the structural details, the rock structure of the west coast of Africa will definitely match up the east coast of South America. Why? Because both of them were joined together. Guys, see, you are all extremely lucky that you are getting such kind of information in such an interactive way. And this is on the behalf of StudyIQ IAS English and on the behalf of me that I'm able to deliver such kind of content to you all. It becomes very necessary that you appreciate this content, that in today's time you are having such good quality discourse being delivered to you. Okay, there are many aspirants in this world who don't get such vital information in this juncture of their life. So please guys, it's my humble request, those who are watching me now, please appreciate the content which I'm showcasing on the board and try to grasp as much thing as possible. So roughly 155 million years ago, North America has separated. Okay, see, the North America has separated. Africa and South America are taking shape. Okay, the Eurasian landmass is also slowly taking place. And if you see over here, this is our India. This is our India. Okay, India was a part of the southern hemisphere. It is now slowly starting to drift. So now let us move ahead. Let us see the video. Let us analyze the video further. Okay, so it has started to now finally break up. Okay, so we are moving ahead. Okay, so roughly 115 million years ago, 120 million years ago, roughly 115 to 120 million years ago, India has finally broke apart. India has finally broke apart from the southern Gondwana land. India has starting its northward journey. So if anyone asks you when India started its northward journey, so India started its northward journey approximately 120 million years ago. You have the formation of Atlantic Ocean between South America and Africa. If you see this, this is our present day Atlantic Ocean. So for the first time, you have the ocean forming between Africa and South America. North America has completely drifted apart. Okay, this is the Scandinavian Peninsula which we discussed, and that is the part of Europe. And if you see this landmass, guys, this landmass is the present day Australia. So this is Australia, this is India. So Australia and India, they together started their journey from the south. They together started their journey from the southern Gondwana land. So you need to understand this very carefully. So the Pangea is breaking apart. We are slowly getting to the present day arrangement of the continents. So let's move ahead now. Let us start the video again and let us again quickly do the further analysis. So now, if I pause the video over here, this time scale is roughly 95 million years ago. Okay. So if you see Africa over here and if you see North America over here, in Africa and here in North America, you have evidences of marine transgression. This is called as marine transgression. Okay, this is called as marine transgression, where the sea water enters the landmass, where the sea water is entering the landmass. So you remember that I told you that any life form on earth is never underutilized. So why do you have Amazon over here? Why? Because you once had landmass filled with water over here. So if you now go to the center of Sahara, there you will find dead carcasses of fish, dead carcasses of marine organisms. From there, the calcium rich, the phosphorus rich air or the sediments of this landmass are transported by winds to South America. It is because of this that you have nitrogen, phosphorus, calcium being sprinkled over Amazon rainforest of South America. Why? Because in Amazon rainforest, you all know they are all equatorial regions. You are having heavy rainfall. So if it's raining heavily, guys, will you have any minerals in the soil? No. Water will wash up. Water will wash up the all the minerals. As the water washes up all the minerals, hence you won't have any minerals. So the minerals that you have in South America, they are basically why? Because you had the marine life forms existing in Sahara. Okay. So why Gondwana and Eurasia had breakup? See, it's not Eurasia, bhai, it's Laurentia. Okay. So why they are breaking up? Because underneath you have vertical convection cells. Underneath you are having vertical convection cells which are pushing the continental plates apart. So underground volcanism is the one answer. Beneath the earth's surface you have vertical convection cells where the lava comes and it drifts the continental plate below. So that is why Laurentia and Angara land, they are still drifting. Okay. So now let's move ahead. Let's start our discussion further. Okay. So if I again play the video, now the pieces have started to combine. Again you have evidences of marine transgression. So roughly 65 to 70 million years ago, if I'm again marking up this location, so roughly 65 to 70 million years ago, finally Africa and South America come into picture. Finally, the continental landmass of North America comes into picture. You have Greenland, you have formation of the Atlantic Ocean. So the Atlantic Ocean is a S-shaped ocean. Okay, India's landmass finally takes shape. Now, mind you, India will have Afghanistan and Pakistan, and it will also have Bangladesh. Hence, India is referred to as subcontinent. Please understand this. It is referred to as the Indian subcontinent. Why? Because India's plate also included Afghanistan, Pakistan, and on the east, Bangladesh too. Okay, so this is very preliminary analysis, guys. I'm just showcasing you to understand how Pangea has broken up and how do we have the present day arrangement of the continents. So try to grasp as much as possible. So here now Australia is separated completely. So Australia is there only now. It is existing the way it is. Now let's move ahead, continue our journey. Okay. So if I'm again playing the video. So roughly 40 to 35 million years ago, I've stopped the video again. So roughly 40 to 35 million years ago, Indian plate has finally collided with the Eurasian landmass. This bright brown color which you are seeing on your screens, this is nothing but the Tibetan plateau. This is nothing but the Tibetan plateau. Why Tibetan plateau? Because as Indian plate is colliding with the Eurasian plate, you will have upliftment of landmass, and Indian plate is colliding. So because of this, the landmass is pushed upwards, and as the landmass is pushed upwards, Tibet becomes the world's rooftop. Hence, Tibetan plateau is the world's highest plateau. It is also called as the rooftop of the world. So using this video, guys, using this breakup of Pangea, you can very easily understand how Tibet is forming. So Indian plate has finally collided. Africa has taken shape. South America has taken shape. North America has taken shape. Greenland has taken shape. The continental landmass of Europe has finally taken shape. So this is our Black Sea. This is our Caspian Sea. So all these seas have now started to form up on the world atlas. Okay. So let's move ahead. let's move ahead. I'm moving ahead. So roughly 20 to 50 million years ago, roughly 20 to 50 million years ago, you have the formation of Red Sea. This is Africa. Between Africa and South Arabian Peninsula, you have formation of Red Sea. The landmass rifts. The landmass basically goes down, forming the nascent ocean called as Red Sea. You have formation of Persian Gulf. Okay, and right now I'm just focusing on entries, guys. I'm just uttering these words so that they get hammered in your ears and ultimately they reach your brain. We will cover each and every entry in detail. You don't have to worry. Now just observe the beauty of our planet. Okay, so you have formation of Red Sea, you have formation of Persian Gulf. The shapes are now very much with regards to the present day arrangement. Here Australia has taken shape completely. So now let's move into the present day arrangement. Okay, so if I'm playing the video again, so this is our present day world. The video which you are seeing now, from where we broke up from Pangea to now, this is our present day world. So you have the continent of North America, you have the continent of South America, you have Africa, you have Europe, you have Asia. This entire light brown landmass, this is the Tibetan Plateau. It is shown very separately. Why? Because it is the rooftop of the world. Here you have Australia, and this very small you have New Zealand over here, and this entire southern landmass, this will be called as Antarctica. This will be called as Antarctica. So guys, this is our present day arrangement from the Pangea breakup up till now. Okay, so I'm again quickly showcasing you from where we started and where we ended. So this is where we ended and this is where we basically started our journey. So this is our Pangea. It will break up into two, into Laurentia and Gondwana land. From that it will break, from that it will break up, and from that we will have the present day arrangement of the world like this. So breakup of Pangea to present day arrangement of the world. This is how Pangea breaks, and you have the present day arrangement of the continents of the world. So guys, please appreciate this beauty of Earth. Please understand how the landmass that have evolved from the breakup of Pangea, and when these landmass have formed as the continental plates are colliding, as the landmass collide, you will have upliftment of cold mountains, and hence when Pangea broke up and finally you had the third mountain building phase, you have the tertiary alpine mountain building phase, where majority of the world's highest mountains as of today are existing. So if anyone asks you that which are the world's youngest mountains, so your answer should be those mountains which have formed up after the breakup of Pangea, those mountains which have erupted once Pangea has broken apart. Which are the world's oldest mountain? Your answer should be the Eastern Ghats. Your answer should be the Vindhyas and Satpuras. If anyone asks you like which were the intervening mountain building phases, your answer should be Caledonian mountain building phase and the Hercynian mountain building phase. So I'm again reiterating, guys, this is where we have ended as of today, but this is where we have started from the breakup of Pangea. So this was Pangea. Pangea is slowly starting to drift apart. So this is Pangea. From there we are having the present day orientation of the world. Okay, so now let's move and let's discuss the breakup of Pangea and the intervening mountain ranges that we have. So as the Pangea breaks up, you will have the third mountain building phase when the continental plates are colliding, and that mountain building phase will be called as tertiary. It will be called as tertiary alpine mountain building phase. Tertiary alpine mountain building phase. So please get this very properly. When will this phase begin? This will begin when the Pangea will break up, and here you will have upliftment of some of the world's youngest fold mountains. Okay, so those of you are watching me live, Kalash, Abhay and some other people, please comment if you have got the concept. Otherwise I will reiterate the concept, or otherwise we will move forward. Okay, so again guys, I'm again reiterating that you are all incredibly lucky that you can understand all this in such an interactive way. So feel yourself lucky, feel yourself well informed, and please appreciate this. Okay, this brings a big smile on my face because guys, I'm able to express whatever I'm feeling directly through this information. So let's all appreciate the beauty of earth and move ahead. So now if I'm discussing the tertiary alpine mountain building phase, which mountains you have. So first of all, I will be writing the names of the mountains and then we'll be marking up over in the atlas. So the tertiary alpine mountain building phase is basically resulting into upliftment of three distinct ranges. The tertiary alpine mountain building phase, mountain building phase. Okay, it is basically resulting into upliftment of mountain ranges wherever. So number first, in North America, you have the upliftment of Rockies. You have upliftment of Rockies and the Northwest Pacific Mountains. The Northwest Pacific Mountains. So this is the first kind of tertiary alpine mountain building rocks, a tertiary alpine mountain building phase, where in North America you have the upliftment of Rockies. Second, in South America you have the upliftment of the world's longest mountain range. So world's longest mountain range in South America, you will have the upliftment of Andes and the Cordilleras So you will have upliftment of the Rockies and the Cordilleras, and in Europe and in Asia you will have one continuous mountain system. In Europe and in Asia you will have one continuous mountain building system that will be referred to as the Trans-Eurasian Alpine mountain building phase. The Trans-Eurasian Alpine mountain building or Trans-Eurasian Alpine mountain. So let's not write down as a building. So quickly, the Trans-Eurasian Alpine mountain system. Okay, so this one complete system which is spanning from Europe to Asia. So the breakup of Pangaea will result into the last mountain building phase of the world, and in this mountain building phase you will have upliftment of Rockies and the Northwest Pacific Mountains in North America. You will have the breakup of South America. Breakup in the sense, in South America you will have the piecing up of continent resulting into the longest mountain range of the world. You will have upliftment of Andes and you will have Cordilleras, and in Europe and Asia you will have one complete range extending from the Mediterranean region up till the South China Sea region, the Trans-Eurasian Alpine mountain system. So now let us try to paint each of this on the world map. Let us try to analyze the mountain ranges on the world map as to where these mountain ranges are located. Okay. So again, I'll be going on a 2D map first and then we'll be focusing on the 3D map so that you get a bird's eye view of all the mountain ranges. Okay. So in North America, if I'm zooming in on North America, in North America, you will have the upliftment of Rockies. So the mountain range which you see over here, this white one and this one, okay, this one. So this and this is the Northwest Pacific Mountain Complex. Northwest Pacific Mountain Complex. This will be the Rockies. This will be the Rockies of North America. Okay, so these are the tertiary alpine mountains of North America. Mind you guys, all of this is happening after the breakup of Pangea. The individual mountain ranges which are uplifting over here, but they are basically grouped into one mountain building phase. So if I'm asking you what is the similarity between the Rockies of North America and the Andes of South America, your answer should be, sir, both of them have uplifted in the same mountain building phase after the breakup of Pangea. Okay, so this is with regards to North America. Now let us divert our attention towards South America. So if I'm showcasing you all South America, so in South America, this part of South America is where you have the Cordilleras. This is where you have Cordilleras. Okay, and this complete mountain range which you are seeing it starts from the south of Ecuador, Peru, Chile, Argentina. So this complete mountain range, this is called as Andes. And Andes, they are the world's longest mountains. They are the world's longest mountain ranges. So these are the Andes on the west coast of South America. You must be thinking, how come they are forming on the west coast? Why they are not forming on the east coast? We will have to wait for that answer, but don't worry, I will answer that question too, okay? It is but natural that you become curious, and I want that each one of you should become curious. So like the way Abhay asked me, like, why did they break up? So it brings a big smile on my face that finally I'm able to generate curiosity in you all. Okay, so I'm looking for that Rancho of 3D movie, 3 Idiots movie, wherein he starts to question everything. So thank you that you are asking me such kind of question. It brings a big smile on my face. Okay, so you have the South America where you have the Andes and where you have the Cordilleras. Now let us divert our attention to the entire Trans-Eurasian Alpine Mountain System. For this, guys, please give me permission that I use a 3D map, because it is very difficult for me to paint this on a 2D scale. So let me just use it on a 3D scale first, and then we will zoom in on the 2D scale. Okay. So I'm zooming in so that you get a bird's eye view. Okay. So the Trans-Eurasian Alpine Mountain System, it spans from the Atlantic to the South China Sea. So let us start discussing the individual mountain ranges that you have. So the first mountain range that you will be having, it will be here in Eurasia. It will be here in Europe. So here you will have the Alps. You will have the Alps. And besides Alps in Spain, here you will have a mountain range called as Pyrenees. You will have a mountain range called as Pyrenees. So Pyrenees, Alps. Here you also have some another mountain ranges called as Jura, Vosges. But let's not go into details of it right now. We'll discussing the major mountain ranges. So you have the Pyrenees. Pyrenees border Spain and France. So this border which you are seeing, this is the border between Spain and France. Okay. So Pyrenees, the border Spain and France. Okay. Over here, this part is where you have two dominant mountain ranges. They are called as Carpathian mountains. They are called as Carpathian. They are called as Carpathian mountains. And here you also have an entry called as Transylvanian Alps. Transylvanian Alps. You must have heard the vampire stories. So majority of the vampire stories, they come from this part of the globe. These are called as the Transylvanian Alps. They basically exist in Romania. Okay, so if you have watched the Nun movie of the Conjuring series, so the castle which has been shown, it is from the Transylvanian region only. Okay, so majority of the vampire series. So anyone who wants to meet a vampire, you can go to Transylvanian Alps. And do click a selfie for me, because I can showcase this in lectures too. Okay, jokes apart, don't do anything before you clear civil services examination. First get a good all India rank, get a good posting, and then do whatever you want to do. Right now we should focus on our attempt. Okay, let's move ahead. So you have the Pyrenees, you have the Alps, you have the Carpathian Mountains, you have the Transylvanian Alps. So I'm rubbing these entries now. I'm slightly zooming out. Okay, if I'm zooming out, okay, after that you have an entry called as the Apennines of Italy. So in the middle of Italy you will have Apennines. You have Pennines in Britain and you have Apennines in Italy. You have Pennines in Britain and you have Apennines in Italy. After that, on the west coast of Albania, on the west coast of the part of the Aegean Sea, you have an entry called as Pindus Mountains. You have an entry called as Pindus Mountains. Okay. You also have an entry called as Dinaric Alps. Dinaric Alps. So this is where you have the Pindus Mountains and where you have the Dinaric Alps. So here you have Dinaric Alps and here you have Pindus Mountains, okay, bordering the Greece region. So Apennines, Pindus, Dinaric Alps. So these are the entries in this part of the world. Mind you guys, these are all part of the Trans-Eurasian Alpine mountain system. Okay, it's not that this is different. All of these mountain ranges have basically uplifted in the Trans-Eurasian Alpine mountain system only. Okay. After this, if you move towards Turkey, so this is our Turkey. Over here, you have a mountain range called as Pointek Mountains. This is called as Pointek Mountains. This part is where you have the Taurus Mountains. You have the Taurus Mountains of Turkey. So to the north, you have Pointek, and to the south, you have the Taurus Mountains. Okay. This is where you have Pointek and this is where you have Taurus Mountains. Okay. So these are again the entries of the Trans-Eurasian Alpine mountain system. So now let's move ahead. Let's come towards Iran. Okay. So this is our Iran now. If I'm zooming out slightly. So this is our Iran. In Iran, you have two distinct mountain ranges. On the northern end, you have Elbrus Mountains, and on the southern end, you have Zagros. So this is Elbrus. This is Elbrus and this is Zagros. Elbrus and Zagros of Iran. And over here, the mountain range connecting the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea, this mountain range is called as Caucasus. This is called as Caucasus. Okay. The ethnicity of the majority of the white people on earth, this is where you have Caucasus. So here you have Caucasus, this is Elbrus of Iran and Zagros of Iran. From Zagros of Iran, you have the world's best tea coming. So if anyone wants to drink the world's best tea, you are free to go to Iran and you can get the world's best tea. And please do bring a cup of tea for me too if you go to that place. Okay, jokes aside. Okay, after that, we come to our neighbors. We come to Afghanistan and Pakistan. So as we come to Afghanistan and Pakistan, again you have very two distinct mountain ranges. Okay, in Afghanistan over here you have Hindu Kush. You have the Hindu Kush mountains. You have the Hindu Kush range and you have the Pamir mountains. You have Hindu Kush and you have the Pamir mountains. Okay. In Pakistan, you have two mountain ranges. You have Suleiman mountain range and you have Kirthar mountain range. I'm deliberately not writing the name because we will do it individually country wise. So don't need to worry. You have Suleiman and you have Kirthar. After that, as we come to India, you have the world's highest mountains and you have the world's youngest mountains. So it brings again a big smile, because in India we have the world's highest mountains and we have the world's youngest mountains. And all of you know the name of the mountains. It is Himalaya. Himalaya. Okay. The land of the ice, Himalaya. Okay. The world's youngest and the world's tallest. If anyone asks you which are the world's youngest mountains, Himalayas. So which are the tallest mountains? Himalayas. Why they are the tallest? Because they are the youngest. So as they are youngest, their elevation is very high. The older the mountain will get, their elevation will get lower and lower. The elevation will get lesser and lesser due to denudation, due to erosion. Hence, Himalayas, they become the world's youngest and also they become the world's tallest. After that, in Thailand and in Myanmar, okay, to be precise, in Myanmar, you have two mountain ranges. You have Arkan Yoma and you have Pegu Yoma. You have Arkan Yoma and you have Pegu Yoma. Okay, Arkan Yoma and you have Pegu Yoma. So these are the two mountain ranges of Myanmar, Arkan Yoma and Pegu Yoma. So guys, one continuous mountain range from the Atlantic to the South China Sea. So if I'm now painting the picture for you all, okay. So if I'm drawing a line for you all with regards to the Trans-Eurasian mountain line, okay. So it will start from Spain. So please pay a close attention. So it will start from Spain like this, like this, like this, like this, Caucasus, Iran, Zagros. Then you will have the Hindu Kush Pamirs, the Himalayas, and then finally into Myanmar, the Arkan Yoma and Pegu Yoma. So this is called as the Trans-Eurasian Alpine Mountain System. Trans-Eurasian Alpine Mountain System. So please get this completely properly, that this one complete mountain system is called as the Trans-Eurasian Alpine Mountain System. And mind you guys, here you will have the world's tallest and the world's youngest mountains, Himalayas. And in consonance with this, in South America you will have Andes, and in North America you will have the Rockies and the Northwest Pacific Mountains. Okay, so I hope that guys this is extremely clear to you. Once I'm showcasing on the atlas, this becomes very evident. But guys, don't worry, I have not yet started the atlas discussion. This is just a precursor. We will open up individual continents. Now I'm trying to do what? I'm trying to paint the picture of Earth in front of you, so that you have this readily imbibed in your brain, so that you don't forget the location. So guys, here I end up my discourse for today. Before I'm ending, I will like to showcase you some information. Okay, whatever I am teaching you with regards to current affairs, whatever I'm teaching you with regards to the importance of geography, all of that you can get it on a geography channel called as Geography by Pritesh Maturkar. If you want to understand the current affairs, if you want to have relevant materials for prelims and mains, you can join my channel called as Geography by Pritesh Maturkar. For doing so, you can reach out to me by doing a global search on Telegram at Geography by Pritesh. So it's my humble request with each and every one of you to please support me in this endeavor to join this channel, so that you and me can both move ahead with grace and we get good All India rank. Okay. So on the behalf of StudyIQ IAS English, I end my today's discourse. I hope that this discourse was enlightening to you all, and tomorrow we'll again meet sharp at 5 p.m. for discussions henceforth. Till then, please take care of yourself, study hard and smart, because that is the need of civil services examination, and please be consistent. That is the most important prerequisite.